Good day. Now that we have tackled types of employments and strategic pay plans, it's time for us to discuss about training and development. But let us define it first. Training and development is a program done by an organization that attempts to improve their employees' performances through changing attitudes or increasing their skills and knowledge through various methods and programs. Although the terms are together, they still have their differences. Training has to do with enhancing an employee's skills that are essential to their work performance. Usually, training happens in forms of seminars that employees have to attend to, coaching, and apprenticeship. But there are other forms of training that will be discussed later on. Also, there is usually a person assigned to train a certain employee. On the other hand, development is concerned with the overall growth of employees. Unlike training, this is a self-assessment procedure where we develop hidden abilities and qualities that will prepare employees how to handle future problems and have the right attitude in their careers. If training programs are for new employees, development is associated with the top management and how they can apply the new knowledge that is required by the organization. But why do we have to train our employees? Not all employees know about the work style of a company. So training is a way for them to be oriented with the company's wants and what they're required to. It also reduces situations where managers or employers give inadequate training and even harming a third party. Training also leads to enhanced organizational performance that is made possible by easier skill sharing. Moreover, managers and other executives can conduct performance appraisal, which will be discussed by the following group. But what else can we gain from training? Since we develop skills that are essential to our careers, it can improve our work performance and feel confident about doing it. Training also increases motivation while reducing turnover, meaning employees trust their organizations to make the workplace a safe place. Overall, it can bring job satisfaction to the employees.
Now we would be discussing the training cycle. The training cycle can be simplified into 5 steps, and as an acronym, we can call it the ADDIE process, which means A. Analyze, D. Design, D. Develop, I. Implement, and E. Evaluate. The first step is to analyze. In this step, the supervisor would need to identify what is needed to fulfill in the training cycle. This is an important step since this will determine how we can do the next steps of the training cycle. The needs of the company are also analyzed and taken into consideration so that the employees can become tools to help in the success of the company's strategy for the coming years. There are 2 ways to fulfill this analysis. The first one would be the strategic training needs analysis. This is often used when the position available in the company is still new. They would have to know what this new job would need in order for it to be helpful in the company's goals. The second analysis is the current training needs analysis. This is used if the supervisor's aim is to improve the current performance of employees in the current jobs available in the company. Note that this strategy can be used for either new employees in the company or their current employees. Its main difference with the first type would be that the position itself is a current job in the company, while in the first type it would be a new job that needs to be filled in. There are 2 ways to use the current training needs analysis. For new employees, the supervisor would need to determine what the job would need through a task analysis. This analysis is used to identify what skill and knowledge is needed for these new employees to do the job well. A task analysis record form may be used for this type of analysis. For current employees, it would be a more complex situation since the supervisor must evaluate if training is actually needed by the current employee to better fulfill their job. The result may either be that they cannot do the job, meaning there is an obstacle or hindrance, which is why they cannot fulfill their job, or the employee would not do the job itself, meaning they can do the job if they wanted to. The performance analysis is used to know these results. The second step is to design. This would mean planning out the overall training design and how the flow will work. There are 6 further sub-steps to successfully design the training cycle. The third letter in the acronym ADDIE would mean to develop the design. This would involve assembling and choosing the contents of the training program. For some companies, they would create a personalized training content. However, there are many training programs available online which can lessen costs. The fourth step in the training cycle is to implement. This would involve training using one or more instructional methods, and in this step, the companies would need to actually deliver the program that they had developed. This is where the different types of training, which we will later discuss, is used. The last step in the training process would be to evaluate. This is one of the crucial steps in the process since you would need to measure the reactions of the participants, what they have learned, and to what extent has the training caused their behavior on the job itself has changed. To evaluate the training done, you would have to design the evaluation study. It asks, how can we ensure that the training caused the change in results we are trying to measure? Let us now discuss the different types of training. The first type is the on-the-job training. This is where the employee would be trained while doing the actual job itself, just as the name suggests. It is usually the only training available in most firms. This would need to be structured and planned properly as to ensure that the employees are well motivated to do their jobs. The next type is apprenticeship training. This is usually a combination of formal learning and long-term on-the-job training under a person who has already mastered the skills. In the process, the person also becomes a skilled worker. The next one would be informal learning. This is where the employees learn the skills through actual performing the job without any training beforehand. This type of learning can be encouraged through discussions of work-related topics. So this is where the employee would actually have to do the job first before they would learn the new skills for the job. The next is job instructional training, which involves a step-by-step process that the employee would need to fulfill. The steps are usually presented at the beginning of the training. It is usually presented through an instructional training sheet which shows the trainees what to do, how to do it, and why they should do it. The next type of training would be lectures. This is a simple, quick, and efficient way to provide information to a large group of trainees. The next type of training would be a program learning. It is also a step-by-step training that can be self-taught. It reduces training time, but at the same time lets employees learn at their own pace. What makes this different from a job instructional training method is that in program learning, the next step in the training is altered depending on the response of the employee in the previous step. The next is behavior modeling. In this type of training, it involves modeling the behavior expected from the employees. This is a widely used type of training since it is well-researched and highly regarded psychologically based type of training. The next type of training is the team training. As the name suggests, it involves training in teams. This is usually used to help in improving team skills and interacting with different people to complete a common goal. The next type of training is vestibular training. This is where the employees are not trained on the actual job but on the actual machine used for the job or a simulated machine. This is used if the training on the job is costly or dangerous for the employees. Computer-based learning is where an interactive computer-based system is used to increase their skills or knowledge. It is effective if combined with an on-the-job training under a supervisor. The next would be electronic performance support system, which uses computerized tools and displays that helps in training, documentation, and phone support. These are the modern-day job aids, which are sets of instructions or diagrams available on the site. The next is audiovisual-based training, which uses DVDs, films, PowerPoints, and audio tapes that help deliver how the actual job will go through to the employees. The next is video conferencing, which involves delivering the training program to different internet-based video chat apps. Simulated learning and gaming is where a simulation of the situation is shown to the employees. Nowadays, the use of virtual reality or VR is used to help in the simulation process since it can produce and recreate a 3D environment and help the employees feel that they are doing this on the job itself. Next is the virtual classroom, which uses collaboration softwares that enables multiple learners from different areas to interact and participate in live audio and visual discussions. Internet-based learning is used in most of these training types. It is accessible to the students anytime and anywhere, making it a more efficient way for large groups of students to learn. The Kirkpatrick's Evaluation Model. This model is used to evaluate and analyze objectively the impact of the training to the employees. It shows how effective the training is to the employees and how well they learned in the program. It has 4 levels, which indicates a more precise way of measuring the effectiveness, but should be used with caution. Since the model is over 60 years old, many factors that may affect its result has already changed. The first level is reaction. In this level, it measures how well the employees reacted in the program through their engagement with the program itself. Employee satisfaction surveys may be used or through the body language of the employees during the training. Level 2 is learning. It measures what the employee has learned, what can be added to these learnings, and what the result of these added learnings to the program may be. It demonstrates the skills, attitude, and knowledge developed in the training. The objectives set at the start of the program can be a guide to show how well the employees have learned the program, which is a reason why measuring before and after the training is important. Level 3 involves behavior. It measures how well the employees have applied their learnings to their actual job through a change in their behaviors. It ensures that the process encourages the employees reinforce and rewards good changes in these behavior. It takes a long process to measure that it may take months to years to efficiently measure these changes through the observations and interviews with the employees themselves and their supervisors. The last level is results. This analyzes the final results of the training. It is the most costly and time-consuming level since they need to identify if the outcomes resulted from the training itself. The company would also need to come up with a way to effectively measure these outcomes and consider if these outcomes are good results for the company, the employer, and the company's return on investments.
Moving on to the new employee orientation, this is the process wherein employers welcome their new employees into the company, providing them with basic background information and helping them become attached and engaged in the firm. Scanning through the process, employers explain to new employees basic matters such as working hours. They also explain department's organization, such as introduce them to new colleagues, familiarize them with the workplace, and others. They also include orientation that provide information such as employee benefits, policies, safety measures, and facilities tour. They also do follow up and encourage new employees to engage in office activities. Employees Handbook. This is a document that communicates the company's mission, policies, and expectations. It contains statements of company policies, benefits, regulations, and terms and conditions. Employers give this to the employees to clarify their rights and responsibilities while they're employed with the company. The importance of new employee orientation is for employers or managers to accomplish the following. One is to make new employees feel welcome, at home, and part of the team. Second is assure that new employees attain basic information to function effectively, such as access, policies, expectations. Third is to help new employees understand the organization in a broad sense. And then fourth and lastly, socialize the new employees into the firm's culture and ways of doing things. There are 5 relevant topics that can be included in the new employee orientation. The first one is human resources. This includes company background such as history, culture, vision, and mission. It also includes company organizational chart and employee handbook. The second topic is key administrative policies. This includes policy reviews such as pay periods, travel, tools of trade, and training requests. It also includes administrative procedures such as security, computer systems and logins, telephone systems, supply, and equipment. The next topic is facilities. This includes stations overview, where they are and how they function. And then the next topic is safety. This includes safety and health policies, safety, fire, and emergency exits. And then the last topic is department overview. This is provided by representatives from each department about their purpose and function. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you've acquired knowledge from this lecture video.